Hey guys, welcome back to Shadowrun Dragonfall. Setelah kita kembali dari Dragon Keep, di mana kita menemukan clue, yaitu sebuah disket, yang mana disket itu berasal dari Mas Grand Winters, yang ternyata dia terbunuh juga dengan cara yang sama dengan Monica. Dan kita akan mengecek isi dari disket itu sekarang di markas. Dan sebelumnya saya akan memberitahu satu hal, yaitu sepertinya saya akan melakukan banyak sekali cut di video ini karena saya merekam di saat yang tidak begitu kondusif. Akan ada banyak orang atau suara-suara yang tidak ingin saya masukkan ke sini. So saya mohon maaf sebelumnya jika itu terjadi. Dan kita di sini bisa berbicara dengan Blitz terlebih dahulu. Blitz looks up at your approach. The table beside him is littered with cigarette butts and a data jack cable dangles from a portable terminal set up by his side. Hey Chief, you need something? Just checking in, you doing alright? Great Chief, I'm doing just great, yeah. His smile widens. It's really nice to be able to wind down and relax for a change. No more worrying about this ganger or that ganger sneaking behind me and slipping a knife between my ribs. He slaps the table with a grin. It's a good change, Chief, I've got to say. No one is ever really safe, not when gangs are involved. Don't let your guard down. He smiles, widens, and he taps his chest. You can see the outline of a machine pistol through the leather of his jacket. You underestimate me, Chief. I never let my guard down, not even here. Yep. Dan ketika kamu selesai sudah menyelesaikan suatu misi, kamu bisa berbicara dengan orang-orang di markasmu dan bisa bertanya tentang any thoughts about last run that you like to share. I'm well, Chief. I wasn't around for most of it, but you got me out of that hotel, and for that you've got my eternal thanks. Ya, karena Blitz itu tidak berada di misi yang official, dan kita juga bisa bertanya lebih lanjut tentang orang-orang atau personal kita di sini. Now that you're all settled in, I've got some question for you. Oh ya, dan kalau dia memang anggota itu ikut bekerja ketika di suatu misi, maka mereka akan memiliki pembicaraan yang berbeda ketika ditanya tentang bagaimana run terakhir yang kita lakukan. Now that you all settled in, I've got some question for you. Blitz glances wistfully back at the terminal on the table, then turns back with a sigh of resignation. I suppose, but try to keep it short, okay, Chief? I've got things to do. How long were you in Dragon Keep? I ended up there after the anarchist revolution of 39. I was just a kid back then, too young to realize how good I was, how much money I could have made walking the shadows. He shakes his head, a wistful expression on his face. And so, being young and dumb, I fell in with the gang crowd, and that was that. Ya, sepertinya kita bisa terus bertanya tentang sisi lain dari Blitz. You were a member of drug gang. Why should I trust you? Why wouldn't you, Chief? I mean, just look at me. He does his best to give you a winning smile. I'm a trustworthy guy. Prove it. Tell me about the gang that you ran with. Well, I don't know all that much, Chief. I wasn't a member of gang leadership or anything. I'm not really sure why you care either. Sepertinya yang atas dulu. Consider it a test. I need to know where your loyalty lie. If that's what it will take for you to trust me, fine. Anything for you, Chief. Well, where to begin? When first I arrived at Dragon Keep, I spent some time taking in the lay of the land. The Swarzeherzen. The Swarzeherzen were still a pretty small gang, strictly street level, but I could see they were going places. I did a little pro bono digging for their leader, a fat little dwarf named Dieter. Soon enough, I was a part of the family. For a drug gang, the Swarzeherzen were decent enough folks. I made a lot of money with them, helped them take the hotel in the first place. We had a lot of good years there. Then Dieter was killed in a firefight. and our happy little family falls apart. I'm sorry, was that when the hotel got attacked? Blitz takes a deep breath, shifts his weight from one foot to another. Not exactly. The Swarzeherzen maintained their hold on Dragonfall, but the change of leadership was bad news for me. After Dieter kicked the bucket, his second in command took over. She was a real piece of work, called herself Leonie Luster. She had a vicious streak, a mile long, and she was none too fond of me. I can't imagine. Did she turn on you? Immediately. I don't know why. Maybe she felt threatened by my friendship with Dieter back before he ate that bullet. Or maybe she was just jealous of my good looks. Who the hell knows? The point is, she went after me vigorously. Within 24 hours of Dieter's death, I had a price on my head, and then the hotel got taken over. So that's what you need to know about the Swarzeherzen. They were a great gang, a powerful gang. I helped to make them that way. Then they had a management turnover and everything went to hell. Blitz rocks back on his feet, his hand in his pocket. Rocks back his feet, his hand on his pocket. That's it, end of story. Anything else you want to talk about? Ya, intelijen saya 1, jadi saya tidak bisa mengambil pilihan yang atas. Nothing else, I'm satisfied. I'll let you get back to whatever it was you were doing. Okay. So jadi seperti itu cerita dari Bliss, yang mana dia sepertinya bagian dari geng sebelumnya, kemudian menjadi terasingkan atau dimusuhi ketika pemimpinnya itu berganti. Ya, sekarang kita menuju ke Paul Amsel terlebih dahulu saja. Sepertinya Amsel's expression is harder than you've seen it before. When he speaks, his voice is grim. Igor has told me Queen Winter's death. She said that he died in the same manner that Monica did. Yep. It was not a pretty sight. Amsel nods gravely. I know that you and Igor have had your differences. I will tell you that she was badly shaken by the sight of Winter's body. She also mentioned that you found something in Winter's safe, a package full of very old discs. May I see them? Hand over the disc. Ya, disket disc piringan. Sepertinya seperti CD atau DVD. Good God! Gingerly, Amsel lifts a disc from the bundle and holds it up to the light. Slowly, he begins to turn it in his hand, causing rainbow patterns to shimmer across its surface. I haven't seen one of these since I was a boy. This is a DVD RW, a data storage medium for the mid-2000s. Ya, DVD RW. Dan dia belum pernah melihatnya semenjak kecil. Jadi sebenarnya tahun 2040-an mungkin sekarang settingnya. I'm amazed that Windows was able to find a device that could play it. Do you know how can we read these things? Sekarang DVD RW masih dipakai, dan di dunia Shadowrun Dragonfall ini DVD RW itu sudah sangat-sangat kuno. He puts down the DVD in his hands and quickly inspects the others. The first disc that I looked at might be readable. The others are damaged, some severely so. I have my doubts about them. For now, let's concentrate on the undamaged disc. There is a little shop outside the data haven. Talk to the proprietor, Mailit Holly. She might be able to help. Tell her to put the cost of the device on my account. I'm on it. Okay. Hello, Dante. You look down to see a pair of bright eyes set into a scruffy face looking back up at you. Dante, Monica's old dog. Looking down into these huge brown eyes, you see intelligence and sadness. On some instinctive level, he must know that his master is gone. Dante lets out a small whine, then drops his head against your leg. Woof. Yep. jadi yang mengikuti kita. Sekarang kita akan pergi ke Mbak atau Mas, sebenarnya Mbak perempuan. Melit about playing back a DVD. Ya, di zaman ini sepertinya DVD player itu sudah sangat langka. So kita akan ke Melit Holly. The dwarfish tech vendor smiles at you with practiced ease. Her almond eyes twinkling with the glare from a dozen touch screens. She speaks a crypt, heavily accented German. Welcome to the data heaven. Can I help you with something? Oh ya, seperti kita juga memiliki broken drone atau robot yang rusak yang hanya bisa terbang, tidak bisa kemana-mana. Sepertinya kita bisa memberikan broken drone ini ke mbak-mbak yang ini. Yeah, probably. It might take a bit of doing so. I love working on these old corp drones. Can't make you any guarantees, but either way, it's on the house. Guess I'll leave it in your hand. Ya, sepertinya item broken drone akan diperbaiki oleh dia. Kemudian I'll start on it right now. See you later. Hang on a second, there was something else that I want to talk about. Ini sebenarnya tujuan kita. I'm looking for something that can play back a DVD RV. I need some tech. Ini sepertinya membeli sesuatu. Kemudian ini got that drone fixed yet? These things they take time. I'm making progress, so give me a little more. Yeah. Yang atas, welcome back. What can I do for you? Really, that is old tech. Very old, in fact. Just a moment, I will go look. She turns the roommate through a bin of obsolete components at the back of her stall. Ah, yes, here we are. The dwarf wrestles amidst his flat screen display out of the bin. The display has old enough hookups to connect to a DVD player. RCA, you know, vintage. The player itself, though, this I do not have. You may wish to try your luck down at the junkyard. There's a scavenger there, a primitive man with a crude disposition. If anyone here in the crew bazaar can help you find your DVD player, he can, but he will almost certainly attempt to overcharge you for it. She takes a deep breath and smiles up at you. But you are not here for gossip. Shall we conclude our business? I could give you the display for, say, 200 million? Paul Amsel said to charge it to his account. Ah, very well. I will have it packaged up and delivered to her Amsel straight away. Best of luck finding your DVD reader. I wish you well. Okay, thank you. Ya, sepertinya kita sudah mendapatkan layarnya atau monitor. Dan sekarang kita akan mencari DVD playernya. Sepertinya di junkyard. Oh ya, dan saya juga masih belum membeli persenjataan untuk diri saya sendiri karena yang terakhir saya hanya langsung pergi, tidak membeli senjata atau perlengkapan apapun. Skrote. A stout old man looks up from whatever old tech he's tinkering with to squint at you through thick old-fashioned glasses. I'm sorry. He pushes them up with an old stained finger as he straightens up to nod at you. He speaks with a gruff but well-meaning tone, heavily accented with German tonality. Guten Tag. What can I do for you? Sebenarnya atas, Miley tells me you are the man to speak about DVDs. That little shoe sent ya my way, huh? Scrotty smiles broadens. Will wonders never cease? Well, introduction are in order, I suppose. Scrotty Bachman at your service. The old man raises a creamy hand in salute. Need something salvage? Some old components? Vielleicht. I'm indeed your man. Wonderful. How about that DVD player? Well, let's see. I think that I've got something that will work for you. Scrotty rummages through the junk heaped on the table behind him. A few seconds later, he snatched a battered plastic lozenge shape from the pile. Here we go. An old Korean player that I dug up last week. 2010 model. A real beauty. Scotty smells prudence and he gives you a conspirational wink. I fixed her up and got her running, but without any discs to read. I've mostly been using her as a paperweight. Untuk pengganjal kertas. Sounds like what I'm looking for. How much do you want for it? Scotty glances back at the DVD player, a rueful expression on his face. Well, I'll admit I'm a little loath to part with her. There's a plenty of folks around there who would really appreciate an older price such as this, and I don't allow what your intention are for it. Ya, untuk pengejar buku dia sepertinya tidak ingin melepasnya. I suppose given the time and trouble I took putting her back together, that would be willing to part with her for say Scotty eyes dart over your gear. A calculated expression on his face. About 500 yen. Deal. What? That's ridiculous. I could be yes, that's ridiculous. I could be a new 3-feet player for that. I'm sure in cash right now. Kau yang bawah saja. Tidak bisa yang nomor 2. I'm sorry. I'll tell you what. A few months ago, I had call it a difference of opinion with that bureaucracy fellow from the soy coffee shop. He hasn't let me into his establishment since, and I'd sell my mother for a decent cup of coffee. Wow, dia menjual ibunya sendiri untuk beberapa gelas kopi. You get me a cup of Turkish coffee, the real stuff, not the fake junk, and I'll give you the DVD player. Sounds like a deal? No, guys. Sepertinya yang atas saja. Deal. Oke, sebenarnya kita akan membeli secangkir kopi untuk wait. Apakah di mission tidak ada? Ya, tidak ada. Tidak ada keterangan kita akan membutuhkan secangkir kopi, but sebenarnya kita bisa membeli secangkir kopi di Mas Altuk di sini, cafe. Apa itu? Cafe Freze. Halo Mas Altuk Burakasi, ya. I have information regarding that matters. My people were looking into Effendim. What Effendim? Dia memanggil saya dengan Effendim. The Turk leaned into you, keep his voice low. The one involving the surveillance device on my data tab. Although I have been waiting for my coffee for nearly an hour already. Are you growing the beans out back? Apakah kamu menanam kopinya di belakang rumahmu? The coffee vendor shouts, "Can you see that I am speaking to an honored guest? You tower of quivering corpulence." His voice lowers again. Now then, as I was saying, we were fortunate that you happened upon that surveillance tab when you did. The people on the other end were planning a very bad thing, to be sure. Very bad thing? Quite bad, yes. Monica Shaver was an important member of this community. More than most were aware of this. More than most were aware of. This Kies was under her protection. You know how it is in the flux, Evandim. The governance of a place like this is tenuous at best. You never know who is going to be in charge from one day to the next. But Monica was stabilizing force, and not just because she was dangerous. She was smart and funny and wise, and she had a way with people. Oh, they wanted to support her, to follow her, because they loved her. When she was killed, it left an opening for others. It would have meant bloodshed and pain if this council had been allowed to continue their plan, but they did not. We saw to it, you and I. It would have been, but they did not. We saw it in that we did also. The group vessel will maintain its stability a while longer thanks to us, my friend. Now, what can I do for you, Evan? Would you like to for? Ya, jadi kita memang jika kita mendengar percakapan itu maka kita akan berhasil mencegah sesuatu yang buruk terjadi. So, kita mendapatkan karma. So, kita bisa membeli coffee sekarang sebenarnya. Coffee as in real coffee, not sake. Oh ya, ini sepertinya barang yang kita inginkan. Yes, for individuals or refined taste, I offer a genuine bean coffee from my native Turkey. The cafe owner looks you in the eye. The tone of his voice grows low and serious. This is a top shelf item, my friend, and not for the general public, only for those few discerning connoisseurs who can properly appreciate it. Tell me about the Turkish coffee. It is handpicked by my family in Turkey, a true delicacy of the sixth world. This was considered a luxury even before the awakening, when the bean coffee was everywhere, every street corner, they say. Burakasi leans in close, lowering his voice to a conspirational whisper. Long hours in the shop have perfumed his body with the commingled scent of coffee, incense, and applewood tobacco. Trust me, if your coffee experience has been limited to soy coffee, you must not deny yourself this opportunity. You will see God. Alright, you sold me. How much? This is specialty item. Delivered at some cost, I cannot part with it for less than 50 million a cup. Ya, 50. Harganya 50. Dibandingkan dengan DVD-nya 500. Very good. Burakasi hands you a ceramic travel cup, which he then fills to the brim with dark, steaming liquid. The scent is intoxicating. Is there anything more that I can get you? Just killing time. I'll be going now. Okay. Okay. So now kita punya segelas kopi yang akan kita berikan ke Mas siapa namanya? Scoffer or something. Scrotty. Scrotty looks up at you from his walk and nods. Hello again. Mainha. I'm a bit busy. What can I do for you? I'm back from my DVD player. Well, it ain't yours yet, but I've got it right here. Been keeping it warm for you. Now you got my coffee, or do you have the 50 or 500 million? Turkish coffee hand him the coffee. I got that coffee for you. Aha, thank you. Scrotchy gratefully accepts the coffee, then snaps the lid back and inhales deeply, wiggling his mustache as he proceeds and yep, that's the real stuff, alright. Scrotty gingerly picks up the ancient device from the table and presses it to your hands. The plastic is scuffled and worn, and it rattles a bit when you move it. Give her some good use, okay? Yeah. Return to Paul with the goods. Oke, sekarang kita mendapatkan pemutar DVD dan layar monitor jadul. So, sekarang kita bisa melihat apa isi disket yang dimiliki oleh Green Winters sebenarnya. Wow, dia menghilang. Siapa namanya itu? Blitz. Sepertinya mereka berkumpul di sini. Ya, saya ingat bagian ini di mana kita akan membaca sangat banyak info dan infonya itu sangat menarik. It seems that Amsel has assembled the team in your absence. They stand in a group around the old display that you had Mallet deliver. On their faces you can see excitement and apprehension, curiosity and dread. Holtz, have you procured a DVD reader? And Amsel delivered. I have. It is right here. Good. This should only take a moment. Amsel disappears behind the ancient display. After a few minutes of fiddling with its patriotic input, he reappears, a satisfied look on his face. Everything appears to be functional. The disc should be ready to play. Well, don't keep us in suspense. Start the damn thing already. Holtz went to the trouble of fetching everything. Let him do the honors. Amsel steps back, clearing a path for you to access the antique machine. Antique machine? Oh my god, DVD player. Barang yang sangat antik. Wow, this is it. Bam. A soft whirring sound fills the air as the ancient DVD player spins the disc up to speed. The scratched LCD display comes to life and a menu fills the screen. Play track 1-6. Kita akan membacanya atau melihatnya satu demi satu. Play track 1. The screen goes black and a cheerful digital shimming sound spills out of the display speaker. A crackle of static fills the air, coupled with a shrill electronic whine. After a few moments, the display goes live and a disheveled-looking man appears on the screen. His eyes glittered with excitement. The timestamp on the screen is 2034, 09, and 15. Itu berarti 15 November, bukan November, April, Mei, Juni, Juli, September, 15 September 2034. Ini adalah Adrian Vogler. Hermie, I think we found her after all this time. For Swinge, I knew that she was not dead. His speech is jittery. You can hear the urgency in his voice. She survived the Dragonfall, just as I've said. I knew it and I was right. So first Swinge itu tidak tewas sepertinya. The screen explodes in static and the electronic whine in the background sharpens into a needle-like pulse of high-pitched sound. Somewhere in the background, Dante lets out a low whimper. Adrian Vogler lagi. The screen's clear and the excited face is closer to the screen than it was before. The words spills out of him in a breathless tide. Taking a team into the socks to retrieve her. The radiation be damned. We will take appropriate precaution, of course, but we must go. Hermie, I think that the body may be nearby as well. Somehow she has survived for all this time. The screen explodes into static again, then clears. The figure flickers across the screen. Might not be back for some time. Look after Mom, okay? I worry about her. And Hermie, stay safe out there. I know that things are heating up in Berlin, and I know you. Student protests, civil uprising, and you'll be in the middle of it, I'm sure. Just stay safe, alright? And I'll do my best to do the same. I don't know what's going to happen when I step into the socks, but I do know one thing. If the fire ring is still a danger, I will put an end to her once and for all. Ya, sepertinya Force Winge atau naganya itu tidak tewas. Tapi sepertinya apa yang akan terjadi selanjutnya saya tidak ingat sama sekali. Itu adalah Adrian Vogler. Play track 2. The screen goes black for a moment, then a figure appears on the screen. Your late client, Grand Winters? Wait, your late client. Oh, okay. His elbow is planted on the table that he's seated at, and his chin rests on his palm. The other hand is wrapped around a bottle of cheap whiskey. The timestamp on the video reads 2053 12:25, tanggal 25 Desember tahun 2053. Jadi seperti ini tampang dari Grand Winters. Found the message Adrian left me all those years ago. Got it cleaned up as best as I could. Strange hearing his voice again. He pauses to take a long pull on the bottle. It's good to hear him, even if he did insist on calling me Hermie. Oh, jadi ini ada Hermie. Okay. Dan Grand Winters atau Hermie ini membersihkan data-data video yang direkam oleh Adrian. Dr. Adrian Vogler, the hero of the people, the dragon slayer, my brother. He grimaces and rubs his eyes. Hard to believe it's been almost 20 years. Alright, so I'm gonna start recording these DVDs again. For me, for Adrian, for whoever might wind up watching them. Every time I do this, it ends up feeling like a waste of time, but I keep doing it anyway, on the off chance that I'll find something important. If I stumble into the clue that leads me to my brother, I know that I'm gonna want it on film. I've been doing this for almost 20 years after all. No sense in quitting now. Wow, sudah 20 tahun dia melakukan sesuatu hal ini atau merekam hal-hal pentingnya sepertinya. Christ, 20 years all this time and still no leads, even with all my contacts and my resources. He takes another long swallow of cheap liquor. Even with my legendary bullheadedness, I've made no progress at all. I haven't turned up a single goddamn thing. When I hear something funny, the closest I've gotten to a clue was a rumor. Apparently, a team emerged from the socks a while back. Nobody clicks on the date, but and get this, he leans into the camera and gives a conspiratorial wink. Supposedly, they vanished without a trace. He opens the bottle, drains it, slams it back down to the table. His eyes are rimmed with red. Not much of a rumor, considering I already know that you're gone, big brother. I live with that every day. Abruptly, Winters leans forward and reaches for something off screen. The display goes black. A few seconds later, the main menu returns. So Green Winters memang sedang mencari kakaknya, bukan mencari clue tentang kakaknya. Dimana sepertinya kakaknya, yaitu Adrian, itu menghilang ketika mencari informasi tentang Firewing atau naga yang ternyata tidak tewas berpuluh-puluh tahun yang lalu. There's a grinding sound from the DVD tray, and Green Winters' image appears on the screen. There's an eager look on his face. The timestamp on the video reads 2054, 10 and 12. Dari 12 Oktober, bukan 12 Oktober 2054, sebenarnya Oktober. Stumbled upon this archival footage of Force. Saya masih sangat kesulitan membaca ini. Sepertinya bahasa Jerman atau Force Winch. Stumbled upon this archival footage of Force Winch original attack months before the Dragonfall. Easy to forget how devastating it was. Adrian saved a lot of people by bringing her down. I've got the footage all queued up to play, starting it now. Additional comments to follow. The slower of the DVD player shifts to a high-pitched whine. A distorted, wavering image blooms into a being on the screen. A timestamp on the upper right corner of the screen marks the date, July 6, 2012. What? Ini ada 2 orang di reruntuhan sepertinya. It's difficult to make out what you are seeing at first. The scene is dark and smoky, and the telltale flashes of emergency vehicle lights flicker on the periphery of the screen. The camera pushes in, and you can make out 2 figures standing in a ruined landscape. All at once, the sound cuts in. Reporter? Again, for those of you just joining us, we are coming to you live from Stolberg. A few hours ago, the Dragon Force Winch launched an unprovoked attack on this sleepy, harsh mountain town, and you can see the result behind me: fire, ashes, and blood. We are joined tonight by a survivor of this latest and most horrifying attack. The reporter turns to face a pale man standing behind him. Sir, I understand that you've been through a terrible ordeal. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us tonight. Survivor. The camera switches focus to a middle-aged man with a haunted look in his eyes. He stammers out a reply. Yes, of course. If you could, sir, could you please tell the people at home about your experience of the attack? It was horrible, just pure chaos. So many people are dead. People I knew roasted alive or trampled to death trying to escape. My own house was burned to the ground during the attack. My family We have nothing now. You all made it through the attack, you all made it through the attack, so your wife, your kids. Yeah, we all made it, thank God. We rode out the attack in a small shelter, me, my wife, and our 2 daughters. The shelter, it protected us, but the heat was just unbearable. We couldn't have stayed in there much longer than we did. How long were you holed up in there? 3, maybe 4 hours, I don't know. We just stayed inside until the heat died down and the screaming stopped. And what happened after that? When it was over, when the air cooled down, the reporter notes and the man continues, we stepped outside. There was nothing left, just smoldering wreckage and the dense cloud of black oily smoke and the stench in the air. God, that smell. It smells like roasting meat. There is a long pause. From the tortured look on his face, you can tell that the man is struggling to decide whether or not to continue speaking. Eventually, he does. My girl, they found what was left of their nanny outside. Her body, what was left of it, was slumped against the shelter door. I kept telling myself that I couldn't hear her pounding to get in, but that is not true. I just couldn't bring myself to open that door. I couldn't risk my family like that. Not for her, not for anyone. Thank you, sir, for taking the time to speak with us. Wow. Yeah. I'm sorry. You heard it here, an absurd, chilling account of the night's attack. Again, the town of Stolberg has been reduced to ash, another victim of the fire wing. Stay with us for more up-to-the-minute reporting on First Wind's Reign of Terror. Oke, sepertinya tadi survivornya itu sangat kesulitan untuk berbicara, tapi sepertinya sedikit dipaksa oleh reporternya. Dan itu sepertinya adalah rekaman video dari berita di mana salah satu serangan dari Firewing atau First Wind terjadi di Stolham something. Saya tidak begitu ingat kotanya. Green Winter's face reappears on the screen. Okay, it's time for a new approach. Adrian's a complete dead end. That much is pretty clear by now, so I'm gonna do some digging on First Wind instead. Let's see where this goes. Oh, jadi karena Adrian itu sudah tidak bisa ditemukan oleh saudaranya yang laki-laki atau Hermie atau Green Winters, dan Green Winters itu sama sekali tidak menemukan clue mengenai kakaknya yang hilang selama bertahun-tahun. Jadi dia memutuskan untuk mencari info tentang First Wind sendiri. Okay. The screen abruptly goes black as the video cuts off. A few moments later, you find yourself returned to the menu screen. Play track 4. Selanjutnya, the DVD player ramps up to speed, filling the air with a shrill, winning sound. Green Winter's image appears on the screen. The timestamp on the video reads 2054, 10 and 2031, 31 Oktober 2054. Well, that was a bust. Little progress on Force Winch either. He shakes his head. I don't know, it's weird. The information is there, it's just wrong. Somehow, it's too well laid out, too simple. Real life is messy, and this feels just a little too neat. That's not the only thing that's nagging at me. I'm getting that tingly feeling all up and down the back of my neck again. It feels like I'm being tracked. I'm no matrix hotshot like Clockwork or a Shaver, but I'm good enough to know when someone's on my scent. Gotta install some new security measures, can't be too careful. Green Winters memang temannya Shaver, ini adalah Monica, dan Clockwork, saya tidak tahu Clockwork itu siapa. Belum ada keterangan tentang siapa ini Clockwork. Winter's image disappears, the display goes black. A few seconds later, the main menu returns. Jadi tadi infonya sepertinya memang ada, tetapi terlalu mudah untuk ditemukan or something, dan dia merasa sepertinya ada yang membuntuti dia. The display goes blank for a moment. Then the face of Grant Winters winks onto the screen. He's seated at a computer off to his left. An enormous monitor fills the screen. His voice carries an edge of panic. The timestamp on the video reads 2054 11 and tanggal 9 November, jadi sebulan setelah yang sebelumnya. What? Sudah berbeda? Christ, I'm getting too close to something. There's a trial of bodies, and there have been disappearances. Gearbox, Martian, Peregrine. They've all disappeared within the past few years. Gearbox just went AWOL yesterday, and they were all making the same sort of inquiries about the very wing that I've been. There are ghost stories spreading around the Decker community, stories about Deckers disappearing, and then showing up again later, but wrong somehow. Scary stuff, and I'm starting to think that it's true. Please leans in to whisper to you. I know the stories he's talking about, Chief. Never really put much shock. Never really put blah blah. Never really put much stock until now. Could this rumor be related to what's happening here? Am I being paranoid? He pauses for a moment, as if seriously considering the question. Then he shakes his head and slams his fist on the table. No, I don't think so. Something big is happening here, and I'm right in the middle of it. Edgar cuts in. That's a bit of a leap. One other thing. Tolstoy told me a story about a kill team that might be related to all this. Apparently, a decker named Hellebore posted a theory about First Winch to the Shadowrun BBS about 5 years ago. About an hour later, a male spec team showed up in a mid space and cooked her entire apartment with her in it. Wow, if what Tolstoy told me was true, Hellebore Liv posted the event. She described her killer, this great big orc with skin graft. Then the whole thread disappeared, gone without a trace. Wait a second. Great big orc with skin graft. Jadi sepertinya ada orang yang memposting informasi-informasi tentang First Winch di sebuah Shadowrun BBS, kemudian dia terbunuh oleh sebuah tim yang mana sepertinya pembunuhnya atau timnya itu ada yang orc big kemudian dengan skin graft. Lip Egerlove sounds like he's on the right track to me. Yeah. Eger shows her silence but concedes the point with a small nod. Sebenarnya Eger menyetujui Dietrich. On the screen, Winters pauses. He looks like he's working up to something. Finally, he speaks. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This has gotta be First Winch, all of it. Adrian was right about her. She's still alive, and she's out of the socks. And socks, saya tidak tahu apa kepanjangannya. Mungkin kita akan mengetahuinya ke depan. She's covering her tracks, rocking the shadows, preparing to rise again. And that means that I have to find you, Adrian, for everyone's sake. Thankfully, I've got a lead. For the first time in 2 decades, I've got a solid goddamn lead. I've backtraced all of the metric notes that Hellebore was looking into back before she got cooked. Whoever been purging the metric didn't think about that, and I found that she would turn up. Winter taps a few keys on his keyboard, and an image expands to fill the screen of his monitor. A satellite photo of a rural landscape annotated with GPS data, a set of map coordinates. So now I've got a target, a place to start digging. The Harfeld Mania, conveniently located on an isolated stretch of countryside miles away from prying eyes. Metric records indicates that some sort of data vault exists beneath the estate, so that's what I need to get into. Oh, and this is where we came in. Oh yeah. As if on cue, a familiar image winks into the monitor to Winter's left. Monica. I think I'm gonna tap Shaver for this job. She's got the skill to bypass whatever security they are running out there, and she's credible enough to take the job in the first place. I'll feed her some line about flux state security and she'll eat it up with a spoon. Jadi sepertinya memang Monica itu dijebak, ditarik atau apa istilahnya ya, diberi pekerjaan yang mana sangat mudah, flux state security, dan sepertinya Monica memang kemudian tertarik kepada dia. I warned her. Yeah, Amsel's voice is choked with rage. I warned her. On the display, Winter's mouth parts into a broad grin. Time to put plans into motion. By this time tomorrow night, I should have the information that I need. And on the off chance that Sheffer gets taken out, well, that will tell me something too. Can make an omelette and all that. Until then, Winter's image disappears, the display goes black. A few seconds later, the main menu returns. Oh ya, jadi memang sepertinya Grand Winters itu menemukan sesuatu yang sangat penting yang berada di bawah Harvard Manor, yang mana dia tidak bisa mengambil data-datanya tersebut sendirian. Karena itu dia menyuruh Monica Sheffer untuk menyelidikinya, dan itulah ketika tim kita pergi ke sana dan Monica terbunuh karena shock di Matrix. Kemudian play track 6 yang terakhir. When you play the 6th track, a small video window appears. You recognize the scene in the window. You are looking at the tattered drapes of nicotine-stained wallpaper of Winter's hotel room at Das Kesselhaus. The timestamp of the video reads 2054 11:10. Jadi tidak jauh berbeda dengan yang sebelumnya. There's a blur of motion and the haggard form of Grand Winters lumbers into frame. Suspicions confirmed. Sheffer's dead. Christ. Winters reaches a shaking hand off camera. A moment later, it returns, clutching a cheap plastic drinking glass. He gulps something down, wipes his mouth with the back of his hand, and takes a deep breath. Okay. Back up. Slow down. Start from the beginning. Winters closes his eyes and makes a visible effort to calm himself. When he speaks again, his voice is steady. Got a call from my contacts in the crew bazaar. Sheffer's killed on the estate run. Matrix security at the estate cooked her brain. Considering Sheffer's skills and experience on site, I see must have been extreme, even by Berlin standards. Security of that kind costs money, real money. Given the evidence uncovered so far, corporate involvement unlikely. The connection to the fire ring is too strong. So let's come right out and say it. The dragon is what we are dealing with here, and the smart money says that she's coming for me next. Well, I won't go down without a fight. I've still got my contacts, still got my connection, and the flux state can be hell of a weapon for the man who knows how to manipulate it. Winters takes another long pull from his glass, grimaces, and swallows. Time for me to make my play. Ghost stories or no, missing trackers or no, I've got Jack into the Matrix and starts pulling strings. The countermeasures that I installed earlier should be more than enough to keep me safe for the 20 minutes I'll be in there. Winter strains the rest of the glass, then tosses it back over his shoulders, and a moment later you hear the dull clattering sound of hard plastic on linoleum. Sheffer's death was tragic. She was a staunch supporter of the estate, but still, all things considered, Winter fishes for something off screen. A moment later, his hand reappears, clutching a data jack cable. Better her than me. Wow. He plugs the cable into his head and the screen cuts to static. Ya, jadi dia memang ya niatnya memang baik untuk menyelidiki Frozen Range atau Fire Ring, tapi dia merasa berhati-hati atau sangat ketakutan dan merasa tidak mampu, kemudian menyuruh Monica Sheffer untuk menyelidikinya, dan ternyata Sheffer tewas. Dan dia merasa, ya lebih baik dia yang meninggal daripada saya. Hahaha. Okay, as your fingers nears the eject button, a black screen cuts in over the static. A moment later, Green Winter's haggard face appeared. What? If you're watching this, then I guess that they caught up to me. They will be after you too now. Wow. Blitz whispered into your ear again, more harshly this time. What the hell is this? Why didn't you warn me about this before I came here? We didn't know. Not exactly. Yep. Not exactly. I didn't come here to get hunted by a dragon. I'm not even a part of this. You are now, whether you like it or not, so quiet down and stop bothering him. Whoever you are, whatever you think you are after, you need to find Dr. Adrian Faulkner, not because he's my brother, because if First Winch is rising again, he's the only one who can stop her. You have seen what happens to people who get too close to this. I'm dead, and dozens of others have died. You'll be next, unless you can find Adrian. The screen cuts back to static. The message is over. The DVD tray slides out the reader. Oke, itu adalah cerita yang sangat-sangat menarik tentang background bagaimana tentang Green Winters itu tewas sebelumnya. Dan sebenarnya kita sekarang akan lapor ke Paul Amsel. The room goes quiet as everyone struggles to process what you've just seen on the DVD. Finally, Dietrich breaks the silence. A dragon, son of a bitch. Green Winters sent us up against a dragon. The firing Amsel's voice is thick with dread. She lives. I'm really starting to regret the fact that I didn't just stay at the hotel. Ager ignores him. Wait a second, we don't know for a certain. Dietrich lays a hand on Ager's shoulders. The evidence seems pretty convincing to me, love. I'll even take it a step further. I think that secret facility that we stumbled into was her lair. The room falls silence. Ager and Glory exchange glances. After a moment, Dietrich continues. Just think about it. The tracker that Winters got those coordinates from was posting about First Winch. Then she was killed by that same orcish bastard that attacked us after Monica died. That's a direct link between the dragon, the scarred orc, and the Harfeld Manor. And then Winters was killed by the same thing that killed Monica. Exactly. My gut tells me that the dragon is down there. Holds someplace far beneath the surface. I think that we knocked on the door to her lair without ever knowing it, and I think that given what we have seen, the dragon will do whatever it takes to keep us quiet about it. Okay, going on the assumption that there is a dragon and that she will come after us. What do you propose that we do about it? I'll tell you what we're going to follow in this episode. We're gonna find Faulkner. Ya, seperti yang atas yang paling bagus. Yes, Holtz is right. Finding Dr. Faulkner should be our priority. If we are going up against a dragon, we need to find ourselves a dragon slayer. Winters spent 20 years searching for Faulkner, and it got him nowhere. How do you propose that we find him? Ya, Green Winters mencari kakaknya selama 20 tahun dan hampir-hampir atau tanpa clue sama sekali. Bagaimana cara kita mendapatkan clue-nya? With the help of an information broker. Paul. I'm sorry. Let me get back to the coffee shop. For this, no. While her bureaucracy is very capable, a task of this magnitude is beyond him. We need to make contacts with the premier information broker in Berlin. We need to talk to Alice. Siapakah Alice? Blitz scoffs at Amsel. Alice? Best of luck, and I hope that you are rich. Alice? Amsel raises an eyebrow. For this, rich enough, even if only just. Who is this Alice? Ya, siapa Alice? a most prominent figure in Berlin's shadows community. Ex-Soxwellen Ritter, she provides information retrieval services for the F-state. Amsel turns to the computer console behind him and runs his finger over a virtual keyboard. The machine begins to hum. If Winters was right, if Vogler is still alive, she can help us find him. The console spits out a stick of black plastic. Amsel plucks it from the computer and hands it to you. Here, your key to speak with Alice. A crit stick? Amsel nods. An encoded crit stick, yes. 10,000 million. Alice will not show her face for less. This represents the last of my personal saving holds. Make this meeting count. 10,000 yuan just to talk to her? Amsel nods, yes. Her standard fee. Alice is in a position to ask it, and we are in no position to argue. Just like I said, why doesn't anyone listen to me? Yeah, where do I need to go? Take the U-Bahn station to the Altstadt Spandau. There you will find a connecting tube that the local refers to as the rabbit hole. You will find a method of contacting Alice there. Don't call it that in front of her though. Word on the street is that she hates it. Rabbit hole? Dia tidak menyukai kata-kata itu sepertinya. Please hurry while you are out. I will work on acquiring new contracts for the team. Alice is the best there is at what she does. What? Alice is the best there is at what she does, and her services carry a price tag too much. Alright, so wait, what? Amsel encoded crit stick, tag the U-Bahn to meet Alice, game set. Oke, sepertinya sekarang kita punya clue yang baru, yang mana kita akan bertemu dengan Alice, yang mana sebenarnya dia seorang information broker atau seorang yang memiliki sangat banyak informasi, dan sepertinya information broker yang berada di luar di toko kopi, coffee shop, Mas Altuk itu tidak memiliki kemampuan yang cukup untuk menangani kasus ini, yang mana kasus ini sekarang sudah sangat-sangat penting atau berbahaya karena melibatkan force winch, the fire wing atau naga api. Dan sepertinya hanya Alice yang bisa menemukan pembasmi naga itu, yang mana bernama Adrian Vogler. So sepertinya sampai di situ dulu perjalanan kita saat ini, dan saya tahu sangat banyak pembacaan di episode ini. Semoga kalian tidak bosan, and I'll see you again in the next video, yang mana kita akan menuju ke Alice. Bye bye, I'll see you again next time.